Good morning and welcome to Vic and Burn Sports Chat on this wonderful Monday, the 30th of, March. Jeez, I almost forgot. I thought it was April already. No, March. What a sports weekend we had. We just had this weekend. There you go. There you go. I need a sip already before I even start. There you go. Now, great sports weekend. Lots to get into. A great sports week coming up. I mean, every week's a great sports week. It doesn't matter what's happening in the world. I'll get into the chat a little bit later. So those are our topics today. We're going to talk about a lot of things. Big motorsport section today as well. Of course, NCAA, starting to know who's in the Final Four. We know the Final Four of the men. Just waiting to see who's the Final Four of the women. Rugby, lots of rugby this weekend. Eurobasket, NBA, NHL, Major League Baseball, football. So we might as well get stuck into it, guys. If you want to get hold of me, that's the email as per usual on top. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button because we are now officially on our way to 149,000. Now, I do see something. I still haven't changed the time. So let me go do that because I know some people will freak out. But it's the same time as every morning. So let's quickly go do that. Because you don't want to upset people. People get upset when the time's not right. And oh my God, here we go. But I'll put out some of the results already there before I do that. English Women's Super League. There was, of course, Chelsea beating Aston Villa 4-3. I mean, that was been a fantastic game there. Then West Ham and the London Lionesses drawing 1-1, and Leicester losing 1-0 to Brighton. Looks like Leicester is going to go down. But now let me just quickly go there to the time because, we got to change it. It is, where we got it live. There you go. I'm just going to change it very quickly. I think that's the right time now. There you go. Now no one can bloody work on my nerves. There you go. Then don't forget, there was a lot of friendlies yesterday. I normally don't do friendlies, but what the hell. Georgia beat Lithuania 2-0. Tanzania beat Macau 6-0. Belarus beat Armenia 2-1. Aruba, Jamaica. Ooh, I want to take you. That's just a different story altogether. Aruba beating Liechtenstein 4-1. Then Colombia losing 3-1 to France. Martinique lost to El Salvador 1-0. St. Vincent and the Grenada beating Barbados. Jeez, I've been to all these places. 3-2. The British Virgin Islands beating Antigua Anguilla 4-0. Jeez, feels like I need a summer holiday here. Then, of course, Cape Verde losing to Finland 1-0. Yeah, Finland be a little bit cold right this year. Dominican Republic, Cuba been there 1-1. Cayman Islands against Bahamas, been to both 1-0 for the Cayman Islands. And St. Martin beating Bonaire 3-0. So, beautiful stuff early in the morning there. Early in the morning. Now I'm going to go to the chat because we've got the football done. Let's go have a look at the chat. Good morning, Marnus, Heinrich, Dennis, Ranish, Devin. You are many people in there. What's coming up this week? Look, we've got some Eurobasket coming up this week. Big games there. Maybe the one that's the biggest one there. If you look at it from an excitement point of view, it's that Red Star against Partizan. That is the Belgrade derby there. I think we're going to do that one on this channel. Then we've got Hapoel Panathinaikos, another big game as well. Because let's have a look at that table at the moment. Those are your teams that are qualified for the playoffs as it stands at the moment. The top 6 automatically in. And then you have your play-ins, same as in the NBA, 7 to 10 play the play-ins. At the moment, it's Panathinaikos, Barcelona, Crvena Zvezda, Red Star Belgrade, or an AS Monaco. They've all played 34 games. Everybody's except for Hapoel, so But AS Monaco and Red Star are 19 and 15. If we look at the bottom half of the table, 17 and 16. There it is Maccabi. They win that game that they have in hand. It will be 18 and 16. So Maccabi's most probably the only team that can still jump into the playoffs unless Dubai go on a 4-game winning streak, which I doubt very, very much. Then we move on to North American basketball. We move on to the NBA. And I'm going to switch that over there quickly so that I can put the scores up here. There you go. So look, the Clippers, they took care of the Bucks, 127, 113. Trent Jr., there were 36 points for the Bucks, wasn't enough. Mathurin used to play for the Pacers. I mean, the Pacers lost so many good players. He had 28 points and 6 rebounds. Then my Miami Heat losing again, 118, 135 to the Pacers. Plus for Siakam with a good game there, 30 points and 11 rebounds for the Pacers. Then the Kings lose again, 99, 116 to the Nets. The Celtics beating the Hornets, 114, 99. Jason Tatum there with 32 points and 8 assists. The Magic took care of lost to the Raptors, 87, 139. That was a thrashing. The Wizards got thrashed by the Trailblazers, 88, 123. The Rockets thrashed the Pelicans. Everybody's getting thrashed, man. 134, 102. Sengun there with 36 points, 13 rebounds, and 7 assists. Then the Knicks lost to the Thunder, 111, 110. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander there with 30 points. And the Nuggets took care of the Warriors, 116, 93. Nikola Jokic, 26 points, 15 rebounds, and 8 assists. So 2 assists shy of another triple-double. So that was the NBA. Don't forget, we won't do any tables today because it's Table Tuesday tomorrow, man. It's Table Tuesday tomorrow, not today. Then we move into the NHL. 6 games in the NHL last night. The Panthers lost again, so their playoff hopes are all but done. They lost 3-1 to the Rangers. The Lightning beat the Predators 3-2. A goal there from Günzel. Good goal there for him from Tampa Bay. And 2 assists, so well done to him. The Canadians beat the Hurricanes 3-1. There, the main man was the Canadian goalkeeper, Dobes. Yeah, I saved 97% of all the shots on goal, so that was unbelievable. Then the Bruins beating the Blue Jackets 4-3. Then the Blackhawks losing to the Devils 5-3. And the Stars losing to the Flyers 2-1. So, yeah, that's your results in the NHL. Join us tomorrow for all the table standings, who's making the playoffs and who's not. Then we move into Major League Baseball. Big night in baseball last night. I can tell you there that the Kansas City Royals beat the Braves 4-1. The Twins lost to the Orioles 6-8. The Rangers beat the Phillies 8-3. Rangers doing quite well this season already. Athletics not doing so well this season. They lost to the Blue Jays 2-5. Blue Jays, the finalists of the World Series last year. The Red Sox lose to the Reds 2-3, and the Rockies lose again to the Marlins 4-3. It was a lot more baseball, so it comes the second part. The Pirates beat the Mets 4-3. The Angels and the Astros, that big battle there. Astros taking that one 9-7. The White Sox and the Brewers faced off, and the Brewers took that one 9-7 as well. The Tampa Bay Rays bounced the Cardinals 11-7. The Nationals took care of the Cubbies 6-3. And the Mariners thrashed the Cleveland Guardians 8-0. I just can't get over the name, the Cleveland Guardians. I know, Cleveland Indians. I just remember the 2 beautiful films they made there. One with Charlie Sheen there, Major League. That was fantastic, man. Willie Mays. There you go. We'll get into the American and National League tables tomorrow, Table Tuesday. Now we've got to get to the NCAA because things are hotting up, and I've got to start preparing to do my live basketball there. It's the Final Four. We know what the Final Four is of the men. So what happened yesterday in the NCAA? Well, Michigan took care of Tennessee 95-62. Not a problem there. And then, baby, my UConn Huskies. Big upset there. Taking care of the Blue Devils 73-72. What a comeback there. I mean, they were down 44-29 at halftime, and they switched it around, man. Great result there for the Huskies. So let's go, Huskies. Let's have a look at the table there. Let's have a look at the Final Four. That is your Final Four. UConn will take on Illinois, and Arizona will take on Michigan. That will all be on the 5th of April. That's on the weekend. Going to be great basketball. I think I have to do both those games. Then on the ladies' side, we're not quite as far there, but I can tell you the Huskies, the UConn ladies are in the Final Four as well. They beat Notre Dame 70-52. And if you're a Blue Devils fan, it was a shit evening for you people because your men got the number 1 men's seed got knocked out. Your number 3 women's seeds got knocked out by UCLA 70-58. Before we get to the bracket, there's still games to be played tonight. So we're still looking for 2 more Final Four teams. Texas will take on Michigan and TCU will take on South Carolina. I'm going for both Texas teams to come through yet. The Longhorns will beat the Wolverines, and I think TCU could knock off the Gamecocks in an upset. Let's have a look. This would be your Final Four at the moment. UConn and UCLA are in there, and they are waiting for their opponents who will be played out tonight. There you go. Rugby. Well, look, just going to put that really quickly because we do have our DEFCON Rugby show this afternoon, so please join us for that. Those were all on Saturday. To show you the table quickly. There you go. Glasgow and the Stormers look to be qualified already. I don't think they have a problem. And then I think Ulster and Leinster should be in there as well. And then from the Lions all the way down to the Ospreys, it's all to be played for. In the Super Rugby, what a weekend of Super Rugby we had there. Some good results there. The New Zealand teams had a good weekend there. Every New Zealand team won, except for the Crusaders because they had a bye. Let's have a look at the table there. That is hotting up. Look, Hurricanes and the Blues are out on top. Funny, because that's the teams that I said was going to be in the finals this year. The Brumbies followed by the Reds. You got 2 New Zealanders ahead of 2 Aussies. Then the Chiefs and the Crusaders again. So yeah, look, everything up to the Highlanders all playing for the playoffs. Gallagher Premiership. Ooh, some good games there in the Premiership. Chiefs beat Newcastle 38-14. Gloucester losing to the Tigers 17-36. The Bears and Harlequins were stingy with points, but the Harlequins, that's an upset, beating the Bristol Bears 18-14. Saracens and the Saints won that one 21-17. And the Sharks couldn't get past Bath in an exciting game there, 26-31 in favour of Bath. Let's have a look at that Premier League table just very quickly. Northampton out in front with Bath. Those 2 teams definitely playoff bound. But Harlequins getting a win there, a surprise win there. Lets them pull away from Newcastle a little bit in the Japanese league. What a weekend of rugby in the Japanese league. Some big scores there. 51-7. The Kubota Spears beating the Brave Lupus. Sun Goliath Wild Knights. What a game. 34-36 to the Wild Knights. The Verblets took care of the Cannon Eagles 27-33. Kobe Steel took care of the Blue Revs 20-41. The Black Rams took care of the Mitsubishi Dynabors 33-7. And the D-Rocks lost to Mi Honda Heat 17-43. Table there in Japan. Look, I've put it like that because at the moment you got to have a look at it this way. They split it in 2 conferences there in Japan. So at the moment, Wild Knights and Brave Lupus are in. Kubota Spears and Steelers, only the top 4 make the playoffs. And if you look, the Sun Goliath have more points than the Brave Lupus, but they wouldn't be in the playoffs. Different systems for different countries. There you go. There was some games last night in the French League. I think Vern went through most of them, but I'm going to give you the result there of Stade Francais against Clermont. 64-20. What a thrashing for Clermont. Table-wise, Toulouse, To Win is their new name. They are way out in front there, followed by Pau, Stade Francais, Bordeaux, and Montpellier, all really, really close. At the bottom, we have Montauban. So let's get into our big motorsports. What a motorsports weekend we had this weekend. We'll start in the F1. Let's check out the results. Yes, and the young Kimi Antonelli, the Mercedes driver, winning that one ahead of Oscar Piastri and Charles Leclerc. So the 2 young guys are in front there, followed by George Russell, Lando Norris, and Lewis Hamilton. So 2 Mercedes, 2 McLarens, and 2 Ferraris in the top 6. Then it's Pierre Gasly, Max Verstappen, and the Red Bulls are suffering this season. Yeah, look, they called him the greatest driver in the world. No, he had the greatest car in the world. In Formula 1, if you don't have the car, in motorsports, if you don't have the engine and the horsepower under your arse, you're not winning anything. I don't care who you are. There you go. But we'll leave it there. It was old Kimi Antonelli kissing the trophy. Two wins in a row. Good stuff. Youngest driver ever to lead a championships in the Formula 1 with 19 years old. Let's have a look at the standings there for the drivers. Yeah, Kimi ahead of George Russell. George Russell, these Brits moan a lot. I mean, you got moaning Mora Itoje. They're always moaning. Oh, it's unfair that the yellow flag came out and he could make a pit stop under safety car and I couldn't. Oh my God, stop complaining and drive faster, man. So McLaren 1-2 in the standings, followed by Ferrari 3-4, followed by McLaren 5-6. And Max Verstappen, the 4-time world champion, all the way down in 9th, even behind Pierre Gasly in the standings. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Then the constructors, Mercedes way out in front ahead of Ferrari, McLaren, Haas, Alpine. Red Bull Racing is not in the top 5. Unbelievable. But if you want to know more, get into depth, then go check out our video that Vern and Ryan put out. Good show. Gives you all the inside update. They talk about the color schemes or what they will say, liveries or deliveries or whatever the hell it is. Check that out. They know more. Then MotoGP was there in Austin, Texas. Oh, I've got to sneeze quickly. It's coming. I can feel it. There it is. And because I'm a double sneezer, is the second one not coming? No. Marco Bezzecchi is running wild in the MotoGP. Listen here. He won the last 2 races of last year. He's won the first 3 races of this year. And he's led every race from start to finish. That is a record. I think it's like 130 laps in a row. He's led the Grand Prix. So Bezzecchi doing really well. Ahead of his teammate, my favorite driver, Jorge Martin. And Pedro Acosta came in 3rd. Reigning world champion Marc Marquez came in 5th. There you go. There's your Marco Bezzecchi. He's doing really well this season. But it's tight because he's doing really well in the Grand Prix on Sundays. But the sprint races on Saturdays, his teammate is doing a lot better there. So let's have a quick look at that at the standings. As you can see there, it's only a 4-point lead over Jorge Martin because Jorge Martin is picking up all the points in the sprint races. So, And Bezzecchi is not. So, it's tight there. So it's the 2 Aprilias up in front there, followed by Acosta on the Red Bull. Reigning world champion Marc Marquez is in 5th at the moment. NASCAR, yep. NASCAR, it was it was Martinsville, the short track, 400 laps. And Chase Elliott, my man there from Hendrick Motorsports, taking it ahead of Danny Hamlin, Joey Logano, Ty Gibbs, William Byron, Ryan Blaney, Christopher Bell, Austin Cindric, Kyle Larson, and Josh Berry. There you go. There's our man there, Chase Elliott. Good stuff, man. Good stuff. Hendrick Motorsports all the way. Let's have a look at the standings there. Still Tyler Reddick out in front ahead of Ryan Blaney and Danny Hamlin, followed by Chase Elliott, William Byron. So, long way to go in the NASCAR. Then before we get into the IndyCar, let me just quickly go into the chat. I see my mom's in the house this morning. Good morning, Mom. Then my wife is in there. Good morning, Isa. Then Manus, Aruba, Jamaica. I want to tell you, I'll tell you, been to all those places, man. Well traveled, man. Don't know how many children I've got. No, I'm not getting to that. Okay, there we go. Let's get into the IndyCar this morning. Here we go. Yeah, and it was the Alabama race there in the IndyCar. Alex Palou in the Chip Ganassi Racing, winning it ahead of Christian Lindgaard on the Arrow McLaren, followed by Graham Rahal. Damn, his dad was good. And so that's your top 3. Good stuff there. Mr. Palou winning again. The reigning champion doing what reigning champions do, win. Table, but it is Kyle Kirkwood on top from Andretti Motor Racing, ahead of Alex Palou from Ganassi Racing. Then you got Christian Lundgaard, David Malakas, Joseph Newgarden, Pato Award, Scott McLaughlin, Marcus Ericsson, Marcus Armstrong, and Scott Dixon. That is your top 10 in the seedings this year. Whew, got it. That's the show for today. Damn, I got through that quickly this morning. Listen here, hope you guys are doing well. Tomorrow, big table Tuesday with me tomorrow morning. So join me for that. I'll get through we won't do any of the football tables because they didn't play. There's no football. There was no league football. But we'll get into all the basketball tables, NBA, NFL, NHL. We'll do all that. And we'll talk about the upcoming tomorrow night. Big football night for the World Cup qualifiers. Italy, are they going to make it to the World Cup? They haven't been there for 8 years. Well, actually 12 years if you put it this way. It's been 12 years since we've seen Italy at a World Cup, so let's see if they can make it tomorrow evening. But that's my sports for today. Guys, have a great morning, and always remember, be safe, and see you guys tomorrow morning. Or later this afternoon, 1700, the DEF CON Rugby Show. That should be a good one this afternoon. Check it out. Ciao, ciao.